Here we go. Well, good morning, everybody. Another Gray Beard episode. I'm Wayne, and to
I am
my
Bug.
bug over here, you got to figure it
What
out
up?
now. I got to go like
Yeah.
this. So, yeah. Um, hope everybody had a
Wow.
great week. You have a good week so far?
It's been good, man. A lot of time off. I can't complain. I thank God that we got all this time off, but it's making me lazy. I got to do some of the things I said I'm going to do. The only
Yeah.
thing I've done is stop eating as much. Hopped on the scale. The scale said 248 pounds, dude.
Hey, why are you putting your business out like that?
Man, look, they want authentic,
Yeah,
bug. It's three,
I know.
248 pound bug walking around crunching on everything. I want my audience to know, hey, look, if I can do it, you guys can do it. So I'm on it. I'm gonna lose this weight. I'm 60 years old. I'm gonna reset the clock in about 3 months. I'll be 50 years old.
Hey,
And a
well, you
lot
did.
lighter.
You did what we call the scarp, skinny guy. You know,
Work, man. I
you'll
have
be
to show
back.
the audience some pictures, man.
You got something
Yeah.
to show? I don't know if you did. I don't know if I have any where I was, so I went on that a year, a little over a year, and probably about not quite about 16 months, 14 months.
Hmm.
I did that Nutrisystem. I was up to 200. I was in the 280s. I don't because it moved around so much. I want to say it was like 283, 280. Well, on my way to the big 300, right?
Hmm.
And my wife and I both did the Nutrisystem plan
Yeah.
and stuck to it. We did that for I know it was well over a year. I lost over 40 pounds with it, and
Hmm.
then I quit. It's been over a year since I stopped, and I've probably gained back 20 pounds, but that's because I eat like crap. But I don't
Lost
think
40?
I'm just not as active as I used to with the amount of calories I've been taking. I think.
Man, look. I don't eat a lot, but what I eat has a lot in it. Okay, it's condensed. It's like the washing detergent. It says it's concentrated.
Concentrated, yeah.
Yeah, the food that I eat is concentrated.
Yeah, me too. Well, your body adapts, right?
Hmm.
You cut, so like in that Nutrisystem was a lot more of a calorie and carbohydrates count.
Yeah,
Well, your body eventually will adapt and say, okay, he's only eating 2,000, and it will start storing. And I think that has a lot to do with my lethargic energy, if you will,
yeah, man.
that, I don't eat, I don't eat properly. So it's eating itself, as they will.
Yeah, yeah. My mind is still set on like 1975 eating. Where you could eat a lot and
Hmm.
you still wouldn't get fat because it wasn't concentrated. You was eating real food. Now the stuff on the if you read the back of the package, the ingredients, bunch of stuff I can't pronounce. So
Yeah, garbage.
I gotta,
Uh,
yeah,
that was one of the
I like
things I was going to talk about. The old FDA finally, after what, 30 years or 40 years of the red dye number three, I think, or five, whatever.
yeah,
You hear they banned, they finally said you can't have it in any of your products. My wife was all excited about that. Finally.
man, the FDA has failed us, bro.
Oh,
You know what I'm
certainly.
saying? Yeah,
Certainly.
if you pay them enough money, they'll let your product, they'll put a rubber stamp on your product,
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
knowing it's unhealthy for the public.
Oh, absolutely. That's a known fact with the government in general,
Yeah,
because they they and I don't know how we got there, but it's like even where we work, right? I have a lot of experience trying to get projects
hmm,
approved, right? Whatever it is, it doesn't matter. You got to have all these agencies.
Yeah.
you know, from the safety to the engine, the civil engineers, or whatever the project is. Then you think safety, then you have the fire department has to look at it. And I'm like, dude, I got it. We want to be safe. I got that.
Hmm.
But it's like just to do a work order for something, they call it a work order. Like say, I wanted to have like a newer style filtered water fountain put in
Hmm.
a building. I had to go
Right.
through this 6 month process just to get
Bureaucracy.
this, just to get a new. The old water fountain quit working, and you probably
Hmm.
remember how many times. Well, I don't know if you drink out of water fountain or not. Some
I
people
used
are.
to.
You hit that one that used to come out of the hallway of the bathrooms,
Yeah.
and you hit it, and it would either one, it would shoot to the ceiling, and
It
then it
would
would just,
always hit me
or
in the
it
eye
dribble,
every
or it
time.
was just dribbling out, right?
Hey, that mug will dribble, and then when you get down to it, it goes.
Yeah. Now, if I just quit working altogether, and I wanted, to get filtered water like the ones we have at the building now, right? I told him
Mhm.
when I first we started working on that building, where I did, I was like, man, I can get you. I know, man, I've done this already. The water fountain, the filtered water fountain.
Hmm.
They got them over in our old stomping grounds, if you will. So,
Right.
but anyways, the fact of the matter was, it's just a 6 month process just to get the work order approved for them to install something. You know,
Hmm.
so after I bought the thing, well, I bought a couple of them. One for like the gates, one for I bought. So it was all these gates I had wanted to get it put in, whatever, blah blah blah.
Hmm.
It took probably 8 months, and everybody kept going. Why aren't the water fountains installed? And I said, I don't know. Call the next person in line. Where's your facility managers? Not me. I just buy the
Yeah.
things. Anyways, I digress. But anyways, yeah, you're right. Government bureaucracy, in the name of safety or health or whatever,
Yeah.
has failed us and
Yeah.
bent over.
They definitely. It costs a lot of money to do to go through all those different agencies. You know what I'm saying? On the outside, you know what I'm saying? We don't really see it. You probably do in your line of work. You can see like, man, we got to spend money for this, that, and other. But
Oh yeah, they
on the
were just
outside,
yeah. They go, oh, we got to just spend this money. If we don't spend it, we won't get any next year because we didn't
mhm.
spend the money this year.
Wow, it's
That
crazy.
mentality is just ridiculous. That's why you have stupid spending,
Yeah,
overspending on stuff, and then you're like, why do we even have this? Well, we had to spend the money. I'm like, that makes no sense.
yeah. It don't.
Yeah.
It don't make any sense, man. But hey, $34 trillion later, here we go.
Yeah, I bet it's
Hey, thanks.
35 or 30, 36 now, I bet.
Yeah, give or take a couple trillion. You know what
Yeah, what's just a magic number, mythical number? Who the heck can sit and keep track of a 30 some trillion dollar debt? I
Yeah,
mean, I remember back in their day, back when you're talking like $100 million budget or whatever, and we're like, whoa,
I know.
slow down.
Yeah,
Now
I
it's
don't
like a
think.
hundred billion.
I
you know,
think back in I think the first time we went over a trillion was like during Ronald Reagan days.
mm, probably.
And then it just started going crazy after that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think we was $1 trillion in debt.
It
It
was
was it
probably
was just billions. But
yeah,
the last few presidents, man, I shouldn't say last 10. Them
yeah.
boys been going trillions of dollars in
Yeah,
debt.
they're
They've been,
they're just spending money to spend it, man. It's just like, politicians are just spending money, and then
Mhm.
there's no accountability. They don't know what they spend it on or where. Um, I don't know. I don't know if we touched on it last about obviously the wildfires in Los Angeles. Very tragic. I feel for all those people. But don't forget about the forgotten people in North Carolina, that are still without homes. And, I forget the count was 60.
Already forgot about them. You know what I'm
That
saying?
people have already forgot about that whole region that
Yeah,
devastated
yeah.
by a
Disaster after
natural
disaster, man.
disaster, right? just
Mhm.
like a wildfire can be started um, through
I'm glad you
natural.
brought that up, man. I tell you what, Wayne, I'm gonna give you some credit. You know a lot of stuff that the average mug don't even look at, right? I was listening at you and Cal in the office talking about maintaining your property, right? Now I had no clue about that. And just listening to you guys and I was like, he was like, yeah, you gotta do this and you gotta do that. Now these wildfires that started out in there in California. And then I was listening at what the news anchors were saying. I was like, yeah, they're supposed to be doing this undergrowth, clearing it out. They stopped doing that I believe it was the 70s or something, 70s or 80s.
I'm not
They
sure
stopped.
when they started. It's all part of forestry management, right?
Yeah. I didn't even know that was
Um,
a thing until
yeah.
this.
Well, the thing that gets me is that they were a lot of those are a lot of that stuff. I believe some of those parks or areas are federal and state, right? You have state
Mhm,
parks, federal parks,
mhm.
in that region. But the state was like, no, we don't want you polluting the air with this that'll naturally break down and go through,
This is insane.
mhm. Well, I mean, so they would go in there and do control burns, right? They set up but it was so much money to do it. It's very expensive to do it.
Yeah,
You got to
for
have
sure.
all, you can't just go out there and light a match and set off, acres of. There's a lot of planning, preparation, those kind of
You're
things
right. But
that has to.
other things cause that problem too. You know what I'm saying? Just the way they run their government out there in California, all the inflation, all the social programs they got, you know what I'm saying? They basically extremely liberal and stuff like that. So when you start being fiscally irresponsible, now you can't do the things you need to do. You know what I'm saying? And now we're starting to see the fruit of that. You can't afford to maintain your forests. And now they're out of control. They're burning down rich people's houses. They're burning down poor people's houses.
Yeah,
You know what I'm
and they're
saying?
the real. I mean, obviously, it's a. I don't even like to say they're liberal, right? There's nothing wrong with having a liberal mindset. They are so far past being liberal that what they're doing has really put a bad name to liberalism, right?
Yeah.
And it really has. They're so far. I mean, there should be another word for what they're that the so-called left liberalism is because
Yeah.
it's not.
I get
They've
what you're
given
saying.
us, yeah. It's. I mean, they did. They were, you had a moderate liberal, and then you had a.
Yeah. And maybe I termed that wrong, but yeah, but I'm thinking you just gotta have a balance. You know what I'm saying? I know their mindset. They want to take care of the people. A lot of social programs,
Mhm.
a lot of incentives not to work. Okay, so you're bringing
Yeah.
in less revenue. You can't afford to pay for some of these programs that you've instituted, and that can cause a lot of problems. You can't maintain things you should be maintaining. The way you look at enforcing the law or drugs or whatever. You're just like,
Oh
hey
yeah.
man, let them do what they want to do.
Well, that's another thing. It's again, it comes down to managing the money, right? They get all this money. They were supposed to build these reservoirs, right, to hold
Hmm.
all this water. With that, so with because they cut up, they just opened up this old, got rid of all these dams and reservoirs on this river for salmon or trout or whatever.
Hmm. Hmm.
Well, they allocated money to build these reservoirs. Guess how many? I mean, there's like 13 or 14 reservoirs. Millions of dollars they set aside. I think it was, I don't know if it was 20 years ago, 13 years ago, whatever it was. The state appropriated all this money. Guess how many reservoirs they've built since then? Zero.
Where's the
This
money?
wasn't like 2, 3 years ago. This was like 10, 15 years ago. And it's just ridiculous. From what I understand, I don't have the information in front of me. Someone
Yeah.
bleep bloop it down here in the comment section, if you know more
Mhm.
about that whole situation out there.
Yeah.
Um, the but I mean it's funny how, the disaster of the month, you know, people in North Carolina, it's not on the news anymore, not only North Carolina, I think there's some Tennessee as well, maybe that
Mhm.
were affected. I don't know.
Dude, in my home state, Georgia, man, I went down
Mm,
there
yeah.
last month, and there
Mm,
was still a lot of down trees, piles and piles of darn
mm,
dead trees piled up on the side of the road. I think they got 100% for its power. I think they got that back, but I don't know what happened to the people that lost their homes. I don't even know. I don't know
I
where them bad was at.
I had saw something where the Amish had went in and built some stuff, but um, then they were
Where
told not to do it or whatever. Just little sheds, basically, somewhere for someone, nice like a 12 by 10 shed, that
they
people
was
could
helping out,
sleep in.
trying to help
Yeah,
out the victims or something. Like
yeah,
what
to
they
give
do?
them shelter, somewhere it's cold up there. It's cold in their hills. So, but anyways, I wish everybody well out there and in their time of need. Hopefully, I think the fires are still burning. I haven't heard one iota of it on the news. I got the news
I saw some
playing
on
in the
YouTube yesterday.
background. Um,
Yeah, it's still burning.
yeah.
But that's a good segue into speaking of burning. What the world
Oh,
happened on the
whew.
NFL last
Well,
night?
for all, for all our fans, I don't know if you call us have people that watch your stuff a fan or not. Um,
Followers.
followers. There we go. That's a better word than
Mm-hmm.
seem to think we have something interesting to say. Thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you. Um,
Mm-hmm.
them lions didn't show up roaring. They showed up going meow. And I can't stand the Washington Commanders. What a ridiculous name for that football team.
At
They're not
first,
one of
it's
my
first.
hated teams. I don't hate the Washington at the time were called the Redskins. I will say it. And to
Yeah.
me, they are still the Redskins. But
RFK, baby.
again,
Yeah.
to me, an issue of the far left going, well, just like I have I don't want to get in this name thing real. No, we'll disregard. The North Dakota UND Fighting Sioux was the now, and they went and changed it to some. I don't even know what it is now. It was
Mm-hmm.
just the Sioux. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what it is, but man,
Mm-hmm.
the Lions, the Washington came out and sort of kind of reminiscent watching. I only watched the last quarter. Um, Reminiscent of what I saw with Pittsburgh that didn't show up at Baltimore. Baltimore
Mm-hmm.
just destroyed them.
Yeah.
They dominated them the first half, and you can't. And that's a typical. I didn't think that was so much. Obviously, I didn't see the whole game, but watching the text feed, of our little group on the phone last night with,
Yeah.
leader Kyle, and it's, you know, yeah, the fellow that's one and only South Carolina deep. Well, him and his dad, I think, are Lions fans. I feel for you. It's sorry to hear about. Sorry for your loss. Let's go with that.
Yeah,
My
I'll go with that,
condolences.
man. It's
Yeah,
bittersweet, man. Okay, this is my mentality. This is my team being dominant. Yeah, I hate to see anybody else dominant. Okay, I'm a hater. So, yeah, I feel for our teammate, our workmate. His team lost. I can tell he really loves his team.
yeah,
They were awesome though. The Lions were just so awesome. The nature of football that they played, it finally bit them because they play such a physical style of football. They
yeah.
run hard, they tackle hard. I wish Dallas would do that. But there's so many injuries. When you play that style of
Oh
football,
yeah.
you're going to sustain some injuries. So the injuries just was overwhelming. But even as depleted as it was,
They still were
they
good.
still they still played. They could beat anybody else. I was surprised by the Redskins. I'm gonna call them that. But that Jaden Daniels dude and the
Yeah,
scheme that they ran, it worked.
it
I
works
mean,
for
you
him.
can't overlook. Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, I
and
was sitting there. You guys, I was watching the text. I could see the text
Texans
things
game.
coming in, and then by
Yeah,
the time I got in, I was like, "Oh, it's a close game." It was only 3 point at the half, right? I
mhm.
think was it halftime was
Yeah,
3 points, 40.
yeah. It was
And then
three.
it was still
Yeah.
like 40 some points or something like that one, or no, 31
No, they didn't
28. I
score
think
that
it
much. It
was.
was 20 something. I don't
I
want
think it was
lost
like
by like.
31 28 at the half. I could be
Mhm.
wrong. I'm sure someone will correct me if I am.
Correct though.
But I was like,
Mm-hmm.
when I got, maybe that was in the third quarter when I got on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was at the third. It was in the third quarter. It was like 31-28. And I was like, this is a close game.
Yeah.
Everybody's all worried. And I was like, but I hadn't watched any of the previous quarters. So I was like, dang, am I missing something here? What's going on?
Right.
Um, and then it was like, I don't know. I was still, I was like, hey, I wouldn't count them Lions out. They got some skills,
They got a lot
but
of firepower.
yeah,
But
but
their quarterback, okay. Yeah, I follow football maybe a little bit more than you. I know the history of Jared Goff. I mean, he's a good quarterback. But I put a post out there. I said, "Uh-oh, Goff is turning into the LA Rams Goff. He's reverting back to
oh,
what he used to be." Yeah. And he threw several interceptions, had a fumble. When he's on, he's on. You know what I'm saying? That's the
no, I
that's the
mean,
quarter.
but you can say that about any quarterback. You can go back
Yeah,
to
that's
any
anybody.
quarterback in their,
Hmm.
earlier days. They do improve or they're gone, right?
Facts. Hmm.
Or they all go to Detroit or Cleveland. Just saying.
That seems to be the island of misfit toys.
Yeah.
That's
Mm.
funny as heck, man. But yeah, that game was bittersweet. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'll let our teammate know next week. But I didn't think
Yeah, I
anybody could
mean,
stop them, man.
yeah,
They were so awesome. It kind of reminded me of the Steelers in a sense, man. I didn't like the Steelers because they were awesome. I mean, they had a whole squad of hitters, you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And I was just like, man, these dudes, I don't like these dudes.
Well, I'm Steelers fans are having issues now with Tomlin. They've been in the playoffs 6 times with no no
Yeah.
no
No,
results, right?
no AFC championship, no Super Bowl. I get
Well,
it.
that's the
But hey, just
frustrating
be happy
part.
that your team made it, you know?
Yeah, that's my team. I'll always be a Steelers fan, but it's so frustrating to watch them play sometimes because they just are just in. If we're falling behind, we'll make it up in the second half or the fourth quarter. We'll have a comeback. Ah,
Hmm.
the other team's making adjustments to your play style, your scheme, if you will, and
Hmm.
you you said it before. You just never know about Steelers. They just come out back out of they come back
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
bunk
Yeah.
that. Get out there, kick their butts, and uh,
Yeah. They didn't, it was like luster the last game they played. I was just like, this don't seem like they don't have the Steeler energy. You got the Steelers and you got the playoff Steelers. The playoff
mm,
Steelers usually go balls to the wall. If you beat us,
yeah,
it's going to be painful. But
yeah.
they just kind of was lethargic, man. I was like, what the heck is going on? Now, the second half, they start trying to pick it up, but something was going on in the first half.
Well, I mean, they did come to what was it, 28-14 or something like that.
Yeah, they scored a couple touchdowns in the second
But
half, but
yeah, but
mhm.
it is what it is. I don't care.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm, gonna lose the trailer over it.
I
I'm
noticed you
here.
cleaned the trailer up a little bit. Hey,
Mm-hmm.
my daughter came to me last night. This is a different subject, right? She
Mm-hmm.
she got off work. She came home. I was upstairs watching TV. She just walked over to me kind of with a slump. I said, "What's wrong with you?" They cut off TikTok. Was like, what? She's like, she showed me her phone. It was like, TikTok has been discontinued, blah, blah, blah. Trump says when he get in office, he's gonna do what he can to try to reenact TikTok, blah, 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 blah. They're gonna try to work out the kinks or whatever. So she was a little crestfallen because TikTok was down. I was like, well, you got other social media stuff. She's like, no, it's not like TikTok. So she,
It's
that's the thing.
funny. It's funny you say that, right? Because so it's funny. I didn't think it would be something that would. It's not like she's making a living off of TikTok, right?
She's making a living on me. I'm TikTok.
Yeah, you be Mr. TikTok. But the thing that
TikTok.
gets me, is it's funny you said that because I had happened to see a short or a reel or whatever about this guy. He's got this long beard. He's a homesteader. And he said, yeah, I got 100 acres here, and I'm homesteading. I'm like,
Mhm.
100 acres, dude. I don't feel, he was talking about, I tried the YouTube thing for a year and it just wasn't, I have maybe 100 and some subscribers. Then someone told I downloaded this app called TikTok, and within a month I had 100,000 followers, whatever it is they have on there, and it was
Mhm.
like he was making a living off it. Now
Oh
he's like,
man.
I'm out of a job with TikTok gone, whatever, and I'm like, yeah, guess you're gonna go
So
get
there
a
was
job
some.
like the rest of us have to do.
I don't know, man. I don't know. That's kind of. It sounds cold, but.
Well, they've been telling TikTok to comply for the longest time. It's a
Mhm.
Chinese owned company that they they had hearings over this. I don't know, was it last year, year before?
Mhm.
The government got their hands in it because
Mhm.
people's information was getting stolen and whatever. Um,
But doesn't Facebook have the same problems? You know what I'm saying? Somebody just
no,
hacked
they,
me a couple weeks ago.
um, yeah, well, hackers that's outside of the,
Yeah,
um,
that's a whole different realm.
mhm. Yeah, I
Hmm.
did see that. I saw that friend request, and I was like, I thought I
Yeah,
was already friends with you. Get a new account. You have to look
yeah,
because sometimes people delete an old account and start a new one, right?
yeah. I'm definitely one of them guys that'll let you know I'm not gonna. First of all, it's too hard for me to do that. There's no easy button on creating. I'm
Yeah.
not.
Well, and it's like
I'm
I
never
don't know if
gonna
they
delete an
hacked
account.
your account or if they just copied your account or
I
what.
think
Did
they
you have
just
to go?
account. Yeah, they did that. Copied it and
Yeah,
just made a little dump. They didn't put much effort. It was like me doing it. If I was a hacker, that's what I would. That would be the
yeah,
level that I would put
yeah,
into it.
yeah. You can
The
always
silhouette.
tell. I don't. I know there's a couple people that I'm already friends with. They don't even know what's happening. They don't even know. I mean, I don't know what benefit it gets about being a Facebook hack. That starts sending you stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I guess
One of the
people.
benefits is this here. I got scammed. Probably shouldn't put it out there, but I did. I went for it. Once upon a time,
No,
one of
we've
my
all
buddies
been.
was
We've all been. Gotcha.
one of my buddies was like, "Yo, man, I'm in trouble. I need help, man. Can you send me $50?"
Mm.
So we had a little dialogue. You know what I'm saying? He accidentally answered the right question, right security questions. And so I sent this dude $50 and realized, and then I called him up. I was like, hey man, you good, man? I sent you the money. He like, dude, I didn't ask you for any money. I was like, oh my God. Oh, I was so mad.
No, the only
And you remember,
the
and you remember a guy named Fred Harris? Was you there when Fred Harris was there at the
oh
show?
yeah, stocky dude.
They made a darn video of him in the hospital. I mean, it was really blurry, but you could tell it was him. Yeah, man, I'm in the hospital. Help. I need X amount of dollars, blah, blah, blah. So I called his wife because I had been scammed before. I called his wife. Hey, man, hey, what's going on with Fred? Fred's here. Fred's in the kitchen somewhere. I'm like,
Who'd you
well, I
say?
just got a video.
Fred? You talking about
Yeah.
Freddie Washington, or you talking about?
No, this is a guy named Fred Harris that was stationed at Shaw. He
Was his
might have,
first
I
name?
think he was,
I thought it was. I'm thinking of Anthony Harris.
yeah, there was, if you know Anthony, you probably know Fred too. You probably just didn't forgot him because they was there around the same time. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking
So,
of Anthony. Well,
yeah,
yeah.
this guy was Fred Harris. We used to call him Freak. That was his nickname for some reason. But
I'm not. I wasn't in them circles.
that's true. I know. I know. I could have got you a card, but
Yeah, we could talk. We
I,
could have a whole show on that circle. You
I
know.
know, right? I wasn't even in that circle. You know, we talk in a circle. Yeah, I have to talk to you
Yeah,
offline about that
yeah. That's a
circle.
whole nother circle right there, man.
I
That's
wasn't. I wasn't even in this circle. I just knew these cats. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
I
But
had a
you're like an honorary member of the circle.
yeah. I was that exactly. I
Yeah.
had the most. They when they look at my
I could
card,
I was for me it would be like if I knew all those guys, but I
yeah,
wasn't in that circle.
right. I wasn't either. But because of certain genetics that I had certain privileges,
You got
minimum
honorable.
privileges.
You get honorable because of mine. You always gonna be on the outside looking in.
I definitely understand how that is, man. You know
Oh,
what I'm saying? But
I'm sure you do. I would expect you to know that.
those
Anyways,
little circles,
um,
but
moving
it was
on.
cool.
Moving
Yeah.
on.
Remember?
Uh, the last thing
Yeah.
we'll talk about today is the inauguration, but looks like they're got some kind of ceasefire over there in Israel.
Okay.
Yeah, they're
They did
releasing
sign it off.
hostages. Yeah, they're
Okay.
supposedly ceasefire begins after delay. I don't know what the delay is. I'm looking at some of these pictures on here, man. It's unbelievable. The destruction, the buildings of rubble is unbelievable. So,
That's a whole
uh,
nother thing. That's a whole animal right there.
yeah, it is.
One of these shows, I'm going to say something that's going to probably be offensive to a lot of people, but it's crazy. But they can always follow it as a conspiracy. You know what I'm saying? So, but I got some interesting stuff on that kind of stuff.
There was a conspiracy thing I was going to tell you about. Oh, um, dang it, I can't. 1900 or 18 something. It's a book
Mhm.
that was written. and It's called Baron Trump back in or late 1800s.
Baron Trump.
Baron
Okay.
Trump.
Okay.
It is so accurate to what has happened to Donald Trump and his family, their plight of, and there's so much stuff that there's. It was written around the time of Tesla, with Tesla was alive, and
Oh,
um,
Nikola Tesla back in the day?
yeah,
Oh shoot, yeah.
late 1800s or
Yeah. That dude was
um,
brilliant, man.
dude, he had so get this.
Mhm.
I sent it. I think I sent it to you.
I have to check, man.
You have to look into that because I was fascinated with it. Um, I guess Donald Trump's grandfather,
Hmm.
great grandfather, whatever,
Yeah.
um, knew Tesla, and when Tesla died in 43, I think he
I thought it
died.
was earlier than that, but I thought it was maybe the 30s, but
Anyway,
okay.
somewhere
Yeah.
I can't. I
Mhm.
have to watch the video, and it just
Mhm.
was. I was like that. He got these 36 boxes or trunks of Tesla stuff, right? But he only
Mhm.
returned 38 of them. He only made public like 30 some of them, but he kept some that he didn't. He said the world
Mhm.
wasn't ready for him or something. It was very
Mhm.
interesting. Uh, I don't. It wasn't a TikTok. I don't think. Might have been. I don't know.
Mhm.
But yeah, there's a book out there called Baron Trump. I
Now is
just put
that
in the space.
BAR like a baron, like a landed
B,
baron type
yeah,
guy? Or
Baron.
we
It's either Baron or
yeah.
Barron Trump.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I have to check it out, man. It's what a coincidence. Here we go.
Some
Now
conspiracy
you got
for you
Trump,
there. You want to talk
huh?
about some conspiracy and time travel?
Yeah.
Yeah. I
But
forget the name of
Tesla,
the author of the book. Someone fairly known, I think.
I'm going on YouTube it after we get off. But yeah, man, and now Trump is dealing with the guy that makes the Teslas. I know we're talking about Nikola Tesla, the great scientist, but
Yeah, there's
what
just
it called?
yeah,
Yeah,
there's no connection
right,
other than the
right.
name of it, a name.
But Nikolai was he was such a good-hearted person. He was trying to create free energy for everybody.
Oh,
You
yeah,
know,
he
that's
did.
what he was trying to do.
He
And the
probably did.
government was like, yeah, I think he
He had
figured
it
out how to
figured
do
out,
it.
I think. And
Government sees the stuff. Like, no, you'll never do that, brother.
well, I
We
don't know
got to
about the
make too much.
government. We all want to think the government, right?
I think it was, man. I think it was
The government
well,
doesn't we don't pay the government for electricity.
no, but the thing about it is we do pay taxes. You know what I'm saying? So if you're giving think of the revenue they're gonna lose if everybody got free
Yeah.
energy. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well, so the inauguration day tomorrow. Hope
Hmm.
everybody enjoys it. It's going to be inside the rotunda of the Capitol building.
Yeah.
First time since Reagan and 40 years ago in
Hmm.
1985. So I hope if you bought a ticket, hopefully you got a refund because apparently you got to buy a ticket to go see the inauguration.
Nope.
Unlike,
I'm gonna see the inauguration right on my couch. It will be
well, in
televised.
today's modern ages, you can. So we got a
Hmm.
little over a minute left. Any closing thoughts?
Huh. Hey, just our regular. Hey, appreciate you guys watching. We talked about doing a little clip on movie clips. Maybe we'll get to that
Yeah.
next week. Wayne's gonna take a little trip and get back, maybe a couple of weeks once we get
No,
set up.
I'll be back Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah,
So yeah,
it'll be a regular movie day.
got it.
What about movies from what? Our old or growing up or
It's in the
what?
movie Planet of the Apes. You can go as far back as you want
Uh,
to.
I don't
It's favorite.
remember them that. I remember them and I enjoyed them at the time. I thought it was really out of it. Just throw you for a loop, the whole
Hmm.
time thing. But
Yeah,
we did pick up two more subscribers. Whoever you were, thank you for picking us up. Hopefully, you enjoy the content. Got less than a minute. Um, hope everybody has a great inauguration day, and it's Martin Luther King's birthday as well tomorrow, right?
yep, yep.
Um,
Celebration.
yep, celebrate his life. Great man. So, with that
Hmm.
said, thanks for watching. We'll catch you
Appreciate
on
you
the next one.
guys. Appreciate you, Wayne. Have a good one, bro.
Take care.
Take it easy.